Former boxer and now UFC women's star Holm says the people complaining about Mayweather versus McGregor, most of them have never even fought before. Stay tuned. Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button, also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. And we working. Shout out to everybody for the Patreon, the super chats, the donations. A lot going on. They just announced the press tour for Mayweather McGregor. It's going to be a week-long deal. As you know, this is Fighting Combat Sports premier trash talkers. So I look for them to dig in their bag and entertain the people, build this fight up, especially Conor McGregor. He's the guy who's a bit younger and he's been more braggadocious, I guess you could say, in all of his recent fights. Mayweather versus Pacquiao, when the fight actually happened, you didn't really hear too much build up and talk. I don't think he really went out of his way to clown Berto, a couple things on the All Access, but McGregor might be fresher when it comes to the trash talk because he's just been doing it in every single one of his last fights and press conferences. But shout out to MMAfighting.com. Link is in the description. They have an interview with Holm, former boxer who is now competing in the UFC, just coming off of a good win over Betch Correa, and she stopped her. I want to tell you what she says. I'm going to quote it and give my thoughts. She says, "I'm the type of fighter who thinks anyone has a chance. I came over to the MMA from boxing and I felt like I had a chance, and I did. I went and I accomplished things." Obviously, the pinnacle of that was probably beating Ronda Rousey. That's what made her most known and household name or close to that. Holm says, "Mayweather is undefeated for a reason, but still, if anything can happen in a fight. Conor's got speed, which I think Mayweather, a lot of people can't handle Mayweather's speed. I think Conor has speed and he could deal with speed pretty well. I think Conor's fighting style and stance can actually be competitive for Mayweather. I think one of the biggest things for me going from boxing to MMA that was hard was being close in the clinch, because in boxing I could get comfortable in there. You could cover up and throw uppercuts and hooks and call it a phone booth fighting. And when I first got into MMA, sometimes I wanted to stand there and throw uppercuts, and then all of a sudden they've got me in the clinch. Or I'm trying to box and somebody would go for a takedown, which is a very good point. But Conor McGregor's actually doing the reverse of that, right? And she goes on to say, if McGregor wins, it's going to be early. If it goes longer, it's going to be Floyd Mayweather. Anything can happen in the fight. I don't think it's a disgrace. I think if anyone's out there making fun of this fight, I can guarantee you that those are the people who don't fight. And if you want to read verbatim, because I just pull quote certain things that she said, and if you want to read it again, the link is in the description. So my thoughts are simple. I agree with her. Like, you got to understand, am I picking Conor McGregor to beat Mayweather? No, I don't think that's a safe bet. I have no reason. I'm not getting paid from this fight directly. I'm not part of TMT or Mayweather promotion or Conor's squad either. So I don't have to. I'm being 100% realistic. We just seen Pacquiao with 60+ fights lose to a guy like Jeff Horn. You can make an argument, oh, he's a boxer, but at the same time, it doesn't matter because he was an inexperienced boxer. Who would have ever really thought, outside of natives of Australia, who sometimes they, you know what I mean, they if someone's from the same country as you probably root with your heart. A lot of people do. You know what I'm saying? But who really gave a guy with 15, 16 fights a shot to beat Manny Pacquiao? I don't even think Pacquiao did, which is part of his problem. He was laughing and smiling that first round and shit got real in there. And Jeff Horn was taking his best shots and still walking them down in shape. And people were like, oh, what's this school teacher gonna do? And they were talking to him in the press conference about teaching a lesson and detention, and it was all fun and games until Jeff Horn got in there. And you could say, oh, he did some things dirty and whatnot, but at the end of the day, he found a way to make it work, and he came out with the unanimous decision victory. That is a reality. Now you could say, oh, Pacquiao's style, and make all the excuses. His style is aged and he's older, but Floyd's older than him, and he just took 2 years off. He has not professionally competed for 2 years. So if this fight were to happen, let's say after Canelo, then that would be kind of a pure mismatch, I guess you could say. People are saying it's a mismatch now, but why? The reason I say that is because the year he fought Canelo, he fought Robert Guerrero, and that was flawless. I mean, he almost stopped Guerrero, in my opinion, in one of the rounds, 6 or 7, I think it was, and then he dominated Canelo. So if it was immediately then, and then right after that he fought Conor McGregor, I'd be like, oh yeah, wow, you know what I mean? But the reality of the situation is Floyd is not invincible. He's 40 years old and he's been on the sidelines for 2 years. Some people are even saying he picked up some pounds and he doesn't look in great shape, or him on the double in bag or this and that. He looks slower. So, I mean, Conor's a good fighter. He does have size. He does have power. Do I think Conor will beat him? No. But like Holly Holm is saying, this is combat fighting sports. And the thing I love about this interview from Holly Holm is she's been there, done that. So she knows UFC. She just knocked out Betch Correa, like I said, and she also was in boxing. So you can't take that away. Girls like Holly Holm and Heather Hardy, they've competed in both. But Holly Holm, I would say, has done it. She's done it more. You know what I mean? She had more UFC fights. Hardy just fought in the UFC and won her match, but Holly Holm knocked out Ronda Rousey, just beat Betch Correa, and fought the Durandamy, you know what I mean? And that was a rough fight for her. So I think Holly Holm, like I said, if anybody knows both sports, it would be a person like her, because she's competed and she did well for herself in both sports. She only had 2 losses, and I believe, I don't know about the second loss, but one of the ones she got knocked out, she came back and avenged that. I do know that for a fact. I forgot the chick's name. But like I said, Holly Holm's probably right. A lot of people who are complaining have something to lose, i.e. like Golden Boy. And what they have to lose is they have a fight that same date. And they know Mayweather McGregor is going to kill Cotto Kamagai. Because despite what you say, it's going to outsell that. And if you're going to turn to HBO or you're going to watch a pay-per-view, somehow, some way, whether you're streaming it or whatever, most people are going to be watching Mayweather McGregor and be more all eyes on that, because like I said before, curiosity killed the cat. And at the end of the day, people are going to tune in, if for nothing else, they want to see what happens. And like I said, I'm not picking Conor to win, but he is a bit, he fought at 170, you know what I mean? He's a bit herky-jerky, he's a southpaw. So if he does catch Floyd, let's see, you know what I mean? Because even as far as I'm concerned, even if Conor McGregor wins multiple rounds, or if he knocks Floyd down, I mean, can you imagine that? All these guys in boxing that haven't knocked Floyd down, and he's never, I think there was one that might have counted as a knockdown, and then they had the Zab Judah where the glove touched, but it wasn't ruled a knockdown. So imagine if Conor McGregor did that. I mean, even Floyd himself would probably be surprised. So again, I'm not trying to hype it up. I don't really care if you guys watch it or don't. But like I said, I'm transparent. I will be watching it. I will be grinding. I will be putting out video and content and making money off this fight. And we'll see. I like Conor and I like Floyd. So, I mean, it is what it is. And if it plays out like I think in my head, then that's what it is. To me, I really don't see with the whole package, I don't see it being any worse than Canelo Chavez Jr. because I actually had boxing aspirations for that fight and thought it could be good and in the trenches, and Chavez can make Canelo dig down deep. And paying $70 for that, did you feel like you got your money's worth? Every single fight on that card was a fight where I easily predicted the outcome. Easily. You know what I mean? I knew Canelo had the better skill. I thought it could be a little bit tougher than that. But the David Lemieux fight, Marcos Reyes, he had been knocked out in one of his last 2 or 3 fights. The fight with Lucas Matisse, even though he's coming off a long layoff, he's the power guy. And neither one of them were true welterweights. And Broner beat Emmanuel Taylor years ago. So, I mean, all the fights in that card were pretty easy to predict who would win. You know what I mean? And people act like they've never been duped. I've seen several cards, even top ranked cards, where like Pacquiao Bradley 3 wasn't all that. Like they tried to put some names on the card, but I didn't even want to see the third fight. I didn't have to pay for that one though. But let me know what you guys think of Holly Holm. She's saying a lot of people who are complaining haven't really fought, and a lot of people didn't think she would have a chance coming over from boxing to UFC. And she actually beat one of the biggest names in the sport at the time, who was considered in prime and who was dogging girls, whether it was the arm bar or not. Even the Betch Correa got knocked out by Ronda Rousey before Holly Holm just did it. You know what I mean? So Ronda Rousey was clearly in her prime, and Holly Holm put a screeching halt to Ronda Rousey's plans and stardom. She was doing all kinds of Fast and Furious Entourage movies. She was at the pinnacle, and then Holly Holm, you know what I mean, brought that to a halt, and she had to regroup. So let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I don't have no reason to upsell the fight. I think Conor and Floyd, being the entertainers that they are, when they start having the banter and the back and forth and the quotables, that's already gonna sell it, you know what I mean? And people are gonna be vested in it for that reason. I'm just calling it how I see. Like I said, Floyd is easily the favorite, but sometimes, and it really depends, because like I said, Floyd is 40. It really depends. But Conor McGregor, I think, I'm not even joking right now, but I think he could do better than Pacquiao did, because if he fights like an MMA fighter minus the grappling, and he's just like hard to read in time, and because he's not textbook, and if he's like wild, I mean, that could make more of a puzzle. I've talked to several fighters, from Andre Ward down to other people, and they say it's that weird wild style that's always the hardest to tame, you know what I mean? Because just look at Emmanuel Augustus, one of my favorite. The drunken monkey style that he had gave Floyd problems. I think he might be southpaw too, but that style, he's just the way his rhythm is just weird. And I used this analogy before. It's like speaking to a person who has no ailments or anything, just a regular conversation, versus somebody that has Tourette's. If they have Tourette's, you're not going to be able to predict what comes next. You know what I mean? You're like, oh shit, fuck, Rihanna, croissant. You know what I mean? You're like, what the fuck? Like, what was that? You know what I mean? Vacuum, bitch ho. I'm having a little too much fun with that, but you guys get what I'm saying. If someone has Tourette's, you won't be able to predict what's coming next. And certain fighters who have that style make it hard. I mean, look at Jeff Horn. He's a premier recent example. He was almost kind of fighting like Pacquiao. What troubled a lot of fighters about Pacquiao is he's awkward. They wouldn't teach you to do half the stuff Pacquiao does. Jump in with your hands kind of low and stutter step, and you know what I mean? Marquez was able to capitalize because he had fought Pacquiao 3 times. But Jeff Horn, unexpected challenge, was supposed to be some easy work, and he was tougher than most people thought. He was durable. He could take a punch. He had that Chris Algieri eye going on when Algieri fought Ruslan, and it made for a tougher fight than Pacquiao expected. I had Pacquiao winning, but you can understand that that fight wasn't supposed to look like that. You know what I mean? Pacquiao was bleeding. He looked fatigued in spots. So, I mean, either way, Pacquiao, even if you had him winning, you have to admit that Jeff Horn exceeded all expectations. So we'll see what Conor McGregor can do. But I mean, it's 2017. There's a lot going on. Let me know what you guys think of Holly Holm's comments. Link in the description. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.